Hello, attractive and shockingly intelligent developer. I'm Rams, one of the founders at Dopamine Labs, and today we're going to get you started using the Dopamine API. Chances are, you're staring at your developer dashboard, wondering how the heck you get from here to the kind of engagement boost that's going to get you that Series D money. Don't worry, we've got your back. Dopamine increases engagement, retention, and revenue by optimizing when and how you reinforce each unique user. That's what rewires their habits, and that's what keeps them hooked. This means we need to find three things: the right user actions in your app to reinforce, a delightful UX element to sometimes show them right after they perform that action, and where in your codebase to paste our code snippets. These snippets are how your app connects that action to the Dopamine API to reinforce your users. In this video, let's just focus on finding your perfect action to reinforce. Your app probably has a big picture purpose, something like capture and share the world's moments, which is great for vision. It's awesome. But it has one problem. Your users' brains don't work on that kind of purpose level. Instead, they think about behavior as a series of small, discrete actions. Capture and share the world's moment isn't an action, but something like scroll through content or open the app is. So you can think about your app's big purpose as really made of lots of little interconnected user actions that support that purpose. Some of these actions are easy to do, some of them are harder and require effort, focus, creativity, or circumstance. Some of them are quick, some of them take time. And some of these actions are more core to what makes your app valuable than other actions might be. Of course, everything a user does inside your app is performed for a reason. But your app probably only has a few really core user actions. But how do you know which actions are the most important? Which actions are core? They're the actions that are most essential to your users and your growth. These are the things that we're going to reinforce using the Dopamine API. So what distinguishes core actions, and what makes one core action maybe better than another? All the best actions to reinforce have a few things in common that make them core. First, these actions are small. They don't take long, and they aren't very complicated. They're easy to perform. These actions don't demand much from your users. Larger or harder actions can be broken down into easier actions. For example, the action walk 60 minutes today can be broken down into several take a 10-minute walk actions. These actions can happen at least once a day. Maybe your action happens many times a day, as is the case for many social media apps, and that's dope. If your action can't happen at least once a day, try to get it at least close to daily as possible. That makes the reinforcement easier on our end, and it makes your app grow better. Finally, these actions are valuable to your user and valuable to you. There might be many actions inside your app that make the app valuable to your users. Some of these actions also allow you to capture the value that you're creating. It's important to identify which actions correlate with your recurring revenue, because increasing these particular actions doesn't just improve retention, it improves your user LTV and makes you more money. So let's look at an example from a few of Dopamine's customers. They all picked dope actions to reinforce. Moving Analytics wanted to help keep people moving and motivated. So naturally, they used the Dopamine API. Their big picture purpose was to help people protect their heart health by staying active. So they broke that down into an action that a user could perform many times a day. Go for a short walk, or as they called it, an activity streak. This action was small, easy to accomplish, happened often, and helped them prove their efficacy as a wellness tool. They reinforced that action with a delightful sound and some positive praising text and connected it to the Dopamine API. So whenever a user finished a short walk, the API would tell their phone whether or not to ding and congratulate them. After just 90 days, reinforced users walked 60% more than did control users, a huge boost. Brighton wanted to help users spread positivity and happiness to their friends. So of course, they used the Dopamine API. Their big picture purpose was to make somebody's day. So they broke that down into a few actions that a user could do many times a day, starting with the action of just opening the app. This action was small, easy to accomplish, happened often, and made sure that users had a little something extra in their daily positivity. They reinforced that action with an inspirational quote that users could reveal and connected it to the Dopamine API. Whenever a user opened the app, the API told their phone whether or not to display the inspirational banner. Users who saw the banners controlled by the Dopamine API opened the app 12% more than did control users who never saw a quote. So in your amazing app, what are these small, easy, daily user actions that make it valuable? And make it valuable in a way that you can capture some of that value as well. Check the Submit Your Details panel in your Dopamine Dashboard. See the box that says Action IDs you want to reinforce? That's it. Type in the name of your action there. In the previous examples, Moving Analytics typed Activity Streak because that's what they named their action, and Brighton typed Open. Your action ID can be anything you want, but keep it to letters, numbers, and underscores only, please. No spaces. A good tip is to keep it short and descriptive. You'll see the action ID later when you paste our code snippet into your source code. That connects this user action to the Dopamine API, so we can tell you exactly how to reinforce each user. Do you have a second or third user action that would be good to reinforce? Awesome. Click the white Add Another Action to Reinforce button, and the form will be extended for you. Remember, if you ever need support, reach out to us using the orange chat bubble icon. Someone from our team will be available immediately over either live chat or reach out to you ASAP over email. Once you know which user actions you want to reinforce, it's time to decide which delightful UX element inside your app you'll surprise users with when we connect your app to the Dopamine API. That's the topic of our next video, so keep going!